My thanks to all of you, and now it's on to Chicago, and let's win there.
Just after midnight on June 5th, 1968, Robert F. Kennedy was shot by Sirhan Sirhan at the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles while campaigning for president. The New York senator had just won California's Democratic presidential primary and was celebrating the victory with supporters and his wife Ethel. He would die the next day. Richard Drew, a veteran AP staff photographer, was at the Ambassador to cover Kennedy's speech. He was working at the Pasadena Independent Star News and had been photographing the candidate.
I made my photographs and I went off the stage, and we were supposed to exit back out through the hotel ballroom, but it was packed like sardines. So the only other exit was through the kitchen, which was just adjacent to the stage.
The late Bob Thomas, a longtime Hollywood reporter for AP, also covered the event, filling in for a Washington reporter who was ill. Thomas ended up filing the bulletin that Kennedy had been shot. In this 2007 interview, Thomas recalls that day.
After the speech was over, and he disappeared behind the curtain, I heard some pops. It was like balloons popping. Then I heard some screams and yells and people saying, "Get him, get him."
Shortly thereafter, the senator came in.
Drew was right behind Kennedy when he saw the gun.
I saw a hand come out holding a gun like this, pointing right at the senator. So I hit the floor. I went right down. I got down and I heard the shots.
Chaos erupted. Drew climbed onto a counter and started taking pictures in the dimly lit room.
They were wrestling Sirhan to the left of me. I couldn't see him because of the craziness of all the people that were there holding him down and to take the gun away. And the senator was laying on the floor, and I photographed that, and the kitchen boy holding his head. And on one of my frames, you can see the time of 12:15 in the morning on one of the people that were helping him on his watch. Ethel Kennedy came over and saw us standing there, and she put her hand up, "Please don't take any pictures, please."
I rushed into the kitchen, and people were standing around looking down, and I couldn't see what they were looking at. I could see over in a corner there was a couple of famous athletes were tussling with somebody, and I looked around and I saw what I thought was a platform, and which I later discovered was a stack of trays. And I jumped on it anyway, and I looked down and I saw Bobby Kennedy on the floor with blood gushing from his head.
Radio journalist Andrew West captured the chaotic aftermath in this famous audio clip.
It's good. Is it possible, ladies and gentlemen? It is possible. He has not only Senator Kennedy, oh my God, Senator Kennedy has been shot, and another man, a Kennedy campaign manager, and possibly shot.
There were two things I could do. I could stay there and record history, or I could run out and telephone the news, which is what the AP would normally do, get the news out first.
Thomas ran to the press room, but the phones he picked up were dead.
Fortunately, I knew the layout of the Ambassador, and I ran out into the lobby and turned a corner, and there was a row of telephones, and I called the office. And I said, "Bobby Kennedy has been shot." They couldn't believe it. They thought it was some prank or something. Jack Quigg, who was my editor at the AP at that time, he said, "If Bob Thomas tells you that Bobby Kennedy was shot, he was shot. Put the news on."